about to fire you as a producer. Hey, welcome back to the Most Hated Podcast. I am your co-host, Paul Honeywood, and who is the other one?
I mean, I already know who it is, man. It's your boy Nos. You know what I mean?
Are we going by Nos now?
Well, I mean, people know me by Nos. I'm known by many names.
Okay, what's the nicknames?
Man, as long as they put some respect on whatever name they call me, that's all that matters,
They
man.
think you my little brother.
That's cool. Like. That's cool. As long as they know, what's going on with me, it's all good.
Well, welcome back to listen to our podcast. Subscribe, like, comment.
For sure.
We're on YouTube.
For sure.
What else? Not Spotify yet, but we're gonna be on a lot of other platforms. What else?
For sure.
All right. Let's get this cracking, man. All right. You have some things you want to talk about first, Keenos? What's up?
Well, I think everybody's kind of on the same thing right now, amongst the chaos going on in the world. Priority number one seems to be entanglement.
Entanglement.
So
did you watch the whole video?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing. I'm not really like a gossipy rumor type person, but I got a lot of respect, or I had a lot of respect for their situation. Big fan of Will Smith. Feel like, Will Smith is probably top 3, top 5 black icons that we've seen. I mean, Will Smith is up there with like MJ and both MJs, Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods. You know what I mean? Like, Will Smith is up there. You know what I mean? I think, Denzel's probably up there too. So to see my boy go out bad like that, man, it really did something to me, man. Like, I really felt like my boy, I was living vicariously through my guy, and we went out bad. Like, the men took a L. We really did take a L.
All right. Let me take it this. We talked about this through text, man. Why do you think they did not have an open relationship? I told you from the jump, man.
Because there is no concrete evidence of that. Like, in that interview, sure, they might not expose every aspect of their relationship. They're not going to get on there and just tell all. I guess they came there for a specific reason, but
damage control.
Right. But which I felt like they shouldn't have said anything at all. Me personally, I felt like they shouldn't have said anything. They should have just let it blow over and let August's album flop and just go about their business, make another Bad Boys movie and move on. But since they did speak on it, my thing is that men took a L, man. We took a major L. I could see if Will had got on there and didn't express any type of emotion, but clearly, if you're one to look at body language, the man was shook. Like, Will had a lot. I know they make a lot of memes about him and stuff, but how he acted in that episode with his father, about him not wanting him, he had the same face on the show. And that was no acting. You know what I mean? Like, you saw his eyes was glazing over, eyes was kind of red a little bit. And as soon as Jada said entanglement, he was like, entanglement? Like, Jada, don't make me come across this table.
Man,
what is entanglement? Then she want to, because I think Jada, this is what I was telling somebody yesterday. I really believe that, number one, if I was Will, I wouldn't have did that. I would not have gone on there. But I think that, me personally, from the outside looking in, I believe that Jada embarrassed him so bad with this whole ordeal that he kind of wanted her to go on there and embarrass herself to make it equal, even. Because in that situation, Jada wasn't the one who was humiliated. It was Will the whole time. You got this dude August talking about that Will gave him permission to bang out his wife, pretty much. And I'm just like,
he did.
Dude, you cannot be, like, you can't. Will Smith is untouchable, bro. You cannot be, August. You're not of that caliber, of that league, to even speak on a person like Will Smith. You know what I mean? Well, especially when it deals with his family and his wife. Like, are you stupid?
Well, let me say this, Keenos. Nos. I correct myself. I think there was damage control. I do think they had an open relationship.
Oh, I think I missed that point. I think I kind of skipped over because you asked me about that. But go
They
ahead.
do have an open relationship.
No proof. No proof of that.
And I do think they've mentioned it before.
Never have they said we have an open relationship. Nowhere.
They didn't say that they cheated either in that last interview.
But
it was insinuated.
Right, but you can't insinuate somebody has an open relationship.
So if I tell you, hey,
because I'm gonna tell you what they said, but go ahead.
No. So I'm gonna say so. I think Will went on there and he wasn't mad at the act of Alcina knocking Jada down. I think it was more of being embarrassed because you got this little dude out here. He's like 20, 25 years younger than all of them.
Right.
And Will's like, yeah, go ahead, but don't let anybody know. I think it's the act of it.
So I was talking to somebody yesterday and they agreed with me. And they're a pretty rational and logical person. Mm-hmm. And what I had told them was that if you pay attention to that interview, if you pay attention to every single thing that they say and how they say it, body language, all that, the initial thing was, and this is why I'm saying that they weren't in an open relationship, is because number one, because nobody's ever said that themselves. They've never came out and said that. But another point is that during the interview, Will Smith specifically said, like right before the whole August Alsina thing happened, he was like, I was done with you. Like he was directing that at Jada, like Jada, at that period of time when we was rocky, I was done with you. And it sounded like she was the one who was the reason why the rockiness was happening. And she kind of solidified that by kind of like putting her head down and kind of saying like, yeah, I know. And then what makes it interesting is that now that we know the time frame of everything that supposedly happened, if you go back and you look at past interviews that she's had where Will comes on the red table and August Alsina was on the red table. It's kind of funny to see it in retrospect now because now you kind of got a frame of what was happening during this time.
But let me ask you this. Okay, go ahead.
During that time. And so the quick point I wanted to make is that in one of the past videos, like 2 years ago, Jada and Will talked about the rockiness of what was going on in their marriage. And what they said was that Will was saying that, and Jada, they said that when she turned 40, she kind of had like a midlife crisis and she felt like who she had became as Will Smith's wife wasn't who she really was as a person. Like it was almost like he was trying to make her into like this picture perfect type of wife. And she felt like that wasn't who she was. And so at that point, I can see why people say they had an open marriage because they said something like, we're going to try something different. They didn't say open marriage. They just said, we're going to try something different because Jada is clearly having some issues internally with who she is and what she wants to do. So this is my take on it. Just reading in. This is my assertion.
All right.
I think that Jada was having a midlife crisis, which they did say. So that's a fact. I think that Will said, look, whatever's going on with you, we need to hurry up and find a solution to it because you're like running me off. Like I don't even want to do this shit no more because you tripping right now. And we know Jada, if you know Jada Pinkett Smith and her background story, you know her mom was a drug addict and she, herself had certain addictions. She said she had a sex addiction, which was funny because when she actually admitted that August Alsina was on her show and he was sitting there smirking, I'm just like, this shit's so crazy. But back to my point, I think that she went through that midlife crisis of who she was and who she wanted to be. And I think Will was trying to accommodate her and say, hey, if things aren't working how they should right now, let's try something different. And I think what happened was, I think that Will was expecting like, okay, let me let her hang out with whoever she wants to. Let me let her do her thing and not like stand in her way of who she as Jada Smith wants to be or Jada Pinkett wants to be. And I think Jada took it too far. That's what I believe. I think that around that time they had brought August into the house, probably, through their kids, knowing him. And they said he had all these issues and they were trying to help him initially. But I think being that they were right around that time where she's trying to figure herself out, she starts hanging out with him and she connects with him because his family got drug issues. He got drug issues. Her mom got drug issues. And before you know it,
she let him
she said that shit like, that's why she said entanglement, because I think that it wasn't something she necessarily was trying to do. It was something where she just wanted to be free again because she's getting up there in age. She doesn't want to be this picture perfect wife. She just wants to be who she is. Because at the end of the day, you can wife somebody up and you can want them to be this housewife or have this certain image and role. But at the end of the day, depending on what their true personality is, you're going to end up having an issue eventually where that person feels like, I haven't been my true self in a decade, or I haven't been my true self in 5 years or 20 years. So who knows how she was really feeling internally. And I think that she allowed that to cloud her judgment. And then when she's around this young dude, you know what I mean? She probably attracted to him. They relate to each other on a quote unquote deeper level because of their traumatic past and things of that nature. And they having all these different things in common. And before you know it, this freedom that Will has gave her to do her thing, it then turned into a damn entanglement. You know what I mean? And I think that's why she framed it like that. I think, and like I said, I don't know these people. That's just kind of how I read it from the outside, because it's like you got to pay attention to how somebody says something, the certain words that they use, because I think that's why Will made sure that she changed it from entanglement to an actual relationship, because she was trying to make it like
downplaying it.
Yeah, she was trying to downplay it, and he like, look, I didn't came on this show. I mean, you didn't embarrass y'all didn't embarrass me. I'm embarrassing myself. I need you to be as honest, real as possible. Yeah. You know what I mean? Don't get up here and bullshit around. Don't talk about some no fucking entanglement. No, you was in a relationship with this dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think, and like she said, she got in this entanglement, and then she realized, like, I got to go back to my husband. And that's when August, I guess, cut her off or whatever. So I think even the reason why he came out and even said anything is because he's been hurt this whole time that, she went back home instead of staying with him. And I think at this point, he's like, well, bump her then. You know what I mean? Like, she ain't had no regard for our situation. So I ain't got no regard for keeping it secret. So I'm just going to use it to my advantage. My album coming out. This is my press run. She wanted to, that family is one of the biggest in the world. So this going to catch like wildfire, which it has, you know what I mean? So, so I think it's a lot of that. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, let's get it from my perspective. Okay. The right perspective. First off, we've been hearing rumors for a decade, 2 decades. I just looked up. Hitch came out in 2005. That was 15 years ago.
Right.
There was rumors that Will Smith was dating Eva Mendes when they was having that movie.
But it's a rumor.
But before that, they said Will and Jada have an open relationship.
Who is they?
The media. Like, it's always
the
rumors,
media says
but
a lot of things.
Bruh, they have already admitted they had an open relationship.
They have not.
If
Paul, find me the clip.
If the last time they talked, they said,
the clip.
Hey, you have that person with you on that side of the house. Do whatever you want. I'm gonna have somebody on this side of the house with me. I'm gonna do whatever I want.
But when did they say that?
They said that on the red table thing.
But see, I don't think. Okay,
that's what they said.
You have to find me the clip
because
I need proof.
They definitely said it.
So this is what we're gonna do. While I talk, you gonna find me the clip,
man.
And we're gonna play. We're gonna play the clip. Because we gotta have facts. We can't just be
no. What they said was you go on one side of the house.
I remember them saying that, but I don't think they said. They didn't say specifically like, oh, you go over there and smash whoever you want, and I go smash. I think they were just saying that.
That was implied.
That's people implying that, because who's gonna really do? Like, come on, like you can be separated or whatever, but who really gonna Who gonna really do that? Where y'all in the same, you and your wife, even though y'all are going through some issues, who really gonna be on one side of the house? Your wife over there smashing some dude, you smashing it don't even make sense.
Weird like that. People are weird like that.
But I don't think that's them. I don't think that's them. And the reason why I'm saying that I don't think that's them, because Will wouldn't have been looking like that.
Well, okay, but
like he was about to cry.
So I had this conversation before with Nicole. I said, because she asked why is he crying if they're in an open relationship.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think he is.
But look. Okay, this is what I'm saying. It's just like, we can have an open relationship. I'm just giving you a hypothetical.
Right.
We can have an open relationship, but don't let this come out. Like, don't put our business out like that. Now there's a face to it. Right. Like, everyone knows, oh, it's this young kid blowing my wife's back out now. Like, you can say whatever you want. Like, hey, I don't care if you with this little dude. Like, I don't care as long as it doesn't get out. Like, now people are thinking like, who's smashing Jada? Like, who is it? Now people are like, oh, it's August Alsina. Like, and he's embarrassed. Like, dang, everyone knows now. Now I got to come out here. I'm mad because now my image, like, think about it.
But see, why even, okay, so my thing is this. I'm not trying to cut you off. With that being said, why would Will Smith feel obligated to come out himself? Why not just let your wife take the brunt of it, come on her show, talk about it, and whoop-de-whoop? Why even show your face if really y'all have this y'all had this agreement. Yeah, it got out, but still, why be on the show if you're not going to come out and say we have an open relationship?
Because what it is I told you it's damage control. First of all,
Right.
Second of all, like August Alsina even said it on. He commented on the YouTube video. He said, "Hey, there's more to the story than what they're relaying." And even Tisha Campbell even said, "Hey, there's more to that than they're letting on. This isn't the true story."
Okay.
So it's like they're trying to build it like, oh, well, they're the perfect family. They can get through anything.
Right.
And like I told you, I don't think Will was joking. He was like, "I'm gonna get you back." Like he said, when he said, "I'm gonna get you back," I believe that. Like,
well, I mean, yeah, I definitely believe it.
And like you said, body language too.
Yeah.
Jada sitting here laughing, cracking jokes. Will sitting there mad, like you messing the brand up right now.
Right.
Like,
Oh
you
yeah.
letting this dude come out and put everything out on Front Street.
Right.
So I think that's what Will is really mad about, because Will gonna go fly to, China, not China, but some country and get his own chick.
Definitely not China right now.
Yeah, but he gonna go somewhere and get his own chick. Like he ain't worried, but it's just having a face to it. Like
Right.
I had like with Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Right.
You see how much uproar that was when Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce? We don't know who it was. They said Becky with the good hair. Who was that? We don't know exactly who that is.
Right.
But imagine if we actually saw it was, I don't know, Rihanna or somebody. Just hypothetically. People are gonna go crazy. Jay-Z out here smashing Rihanna. You know Beyonce mad now. Like,
right. I mean that's totally true. I guess the crux of it though is whether or not it all goes back to, are they in an open relationship or are they not?
I think so.
And my thing is that obviously we've all heard throughout the years like, oh, Jada and Will are swingers and da da da. And sometimes rumors are actually true, sometimes they aren't. I'm a proponent of the fact that they then came on the show together, to face this story as damage control. Yeah, they're not going to get on there and tell all their business, but this part of their business is exposed. So I only can go off what they're saying with their own mouth. I'm never gonna just put something on somebody unless there's really true evidence of it. Like I can see if there's pictures out there of Will Smith the same way you see pictures of Jada and August Alsina all over the internet, which is crazy because I never saw those pictures up until now. As many of them as there are. But that's like, are there pictures of Will with other women? You see what I'm saying? Like, is Will out there just lollygagging with other women, smiling and taking pictures with filters like Jada and August Alsina? Like, so in that regard, it's like, yeah, we can make an assertion that they're in an open relationship, but truly we really don't have no evidence. And then with this last bit of damage control, they still didn't allude to having an open relationship. They just said that we were having a rocky time in our marriage, which they said in the interview 2 years prior, saying that they had a rocky time and that they wanted to try something different. They don't consider they don't consider themselves married anymore. They consider themselves life partners. And what I was telling somebody yesterday was that the energy that I was getting from them was, to me, and the body language was saying, we've been together so long, which I think this is how most marriages are, to be quite honest. We've been together so long that the attraction really isn't there anymore. Like, we don't really care how each other looks because we've known each other for so long. It's faded. We don't have butterflies in our stomach anymore. Like, that's faded. We have these kids. We have these long-standing careers. We're wealthy. We can pretty much do whatever we want. But from a relationship perspective, it might not be what we want it to be. But like I said, going back to that interview 2 years ago, and even in the newest interview, it seemed like the crux of the issue was coming from Jada Pinkett. It seemed like she was the one that was unhappy. She was the one that was really going through rocky times. And it was just by default that obviously her husband is the one who's going to bear the brunt of that. And so he turns around and says, okay, well, if you're having these issues, let's try something different. Let's, go hang out with who you want to go hang out with. I don't want to keep you in this house playing this role. Like, go do your thing. But I don't think he realized that sending her out there to do her thing was going to result in her smashing the R&B singer.
I think he do. I'm okay.
I just don't believe that.
Well,
just based on the look in his face was telling me like, I'm hurt right now.
Well, I will agree
You know what I mean?
that he didn't expect it would be August Alsina.
Right.
I don't think he cared who it was, but I don't think he would expect it was August. So let me ask you this. I asked plenty of people this. Do you actually think that August would be smashing Jada and will not know? They taking all these pictures. They going on vacations together. All this. And you don't think Will knows that he's smashing?
I don't think so. Because I think that... Because even in the interview, you know, they were calling August by a nickname like Og.
No.
Like,
Jada was.
No, they both were. Will was saying it too.
I didn't hear that part.
Will was saying, yeah, you know, when Og first started coming around, whoop-de-whoop. So to me, the dynamic was our kids have brought this young guy into the house. Right. But I think I heard it was through Jaden or something.
Yeah.
And this dude is having health issues. He probably actually brought him to their parents because he felt like if anybody can help you, my parents can, you know, they got the resources and figure out what you need to do. So I think that he started coming around. Then what happened was with Jada's background, like a lot of people don't know that Jada's mom was an addict. Like,
right.
Her mom be on the show and she's clearly expressed that many times that she really had a drug problem. I'm talking about like not a drug problem back in the day, like a drug problem like up until a few years ago, like where she's still recovering from it. And so I think that when you have this young person that is like the age of your son, initially she's looking at him like a parental figure, like, oh, you know, of course I'm gonna help you. You're my son's friend. You're having these problems that I relate to, my mom relates to. So we kind of know like what path you need to be on in order to get back right.
So then one night,
right.
One night, August is like making all these strange noises, and he's like talking about he working out, and it's really just him smashing.
Man, listen, man, you getting off track. So they bring him in. You know, let's try to help this kid. But it's in the middle of this marriage issue that they're having, this midlife crisis that Jada's having. And really, truth be told, I honestly believe that August's presence in that household with those issues that ring to like that Jada can relate to, I think that's probably what like that aided in her feeling like she hadn't been herself in a long time. Like it caused her to reflect and say to herself like, dang, like, you know, have I addressed all my issues? You know what I mean? Like what's the issues I'm dealing with that I haven't resolved yet? And I think it was just, and like I said, I think going back to that word entanglement, as much as people don't want to hear it, I think that that's a very crucial word, because I think that her saying that particular word is letting you know what her mindset was about the whole ordeal. And when you say entanglement sounds like a spider web. It sounds like, you know, you tripped and fell into something that you weren't trying to trip and fall into. And so I think that when they brought him into the situation, coupled with the fact that she's trying to find herself and try to figure out, you know, her unresolved issues, it's one of them things where I really don't think Will was thinking nothing of it. And I definitely, like I said, and I definitely don't believe that it was an open relationship and he knows about August smashing his old. I really even if Will is out there doing his own thing on the side and it's just nobody knows about it and it's never going to come out, I wholeheartedly believe that based on Will Smith being in the public eye for so long, and once again, we don't know these people.
Right.
All we can go off of is what we see on TV and their personality and how they present themselves. I don't think Will Smith is exactly who he shows us to be. I think Will Smith has a whole nother side to him, like I don't want to say a darker side, but especially like when he told Jada he was going to get her back. Like I think Will...
And she already said he got her back already.
Yeah, which that don't mean he cheated.
Yeah.
That could just mean he treated her like bullshit afterwards, which is, you know, I've done stuff like that, so I can understand. But all in all, like I said, I just thoroughly believe, based in his reaction and how he was looking, how he was challenging her to not to fess up to it, I really felt like it's a situation where he found out about what was going on, or maybe she told him years back that, hey, you know, I've messed with this dude, you know, initially we brought him into the family and blah, 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 blah. But one thing led to another. We were on the rocks and you didn't want to deal with me and I was losing myself and I was hurt, blah, 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 blah. And so I ended up messing with this guy. And then Will is like, I'm done with you. But then, of course, she comes back to him like, you know, I want this family structure to work. I want this situation. I don't want, you know, this new situation. And I think, like he said in the interview, he had to make a choice about whether he would whether they would still be together or not. And so just that interaction and just how he was looking, to me, it's clear as day that this is not something he approved of. This is not something he knew about. This is something that truly pissed him off, and he just decided, like, I'm going to have to take this L in private. Like, people don't know I got cheated on, or that my wife that I'm kind of estranged from during this little period of time. Like, I'm going to have to take this L because it is what it is. And then years later, you got the side piece coming out.
But I'm agreeing. But I'm agreeing with you though. I said I don't think he knew about it,
Right.
but I do think they had an open relationship. He just didn't care about who it is. Like he didn't care until he found out. Oh, it's this young kid that's playing basketball with my son that's banging out my wife. But look, I even found the quote right here.
Even if, bro, because I'm telling you. Even if me and my old lady are going through something, there is no way in the world I'm ever, even if like we feel like we need to try something different, there's never a time where I'm going to feel like I'm going to give my wife leeway to smash another dude. It don't make sense.
But that's you, Keenos. That's what I'm saying. That's you. Okay, think about this. I personally don't think they're in a relationship. I think they're in a business partnership.
I feel that. I agree. I agree with that.
I honestly don't think they're together. Who cares?
I agree with that.
Like, we got to keep this image, whatever. But when this came out, he's so hurt because he's like, you're hurting the brand. You're hurting our brand, Jada.
But it's not going to be to the point where he about to cry on TV.
But that, okay, first of all, he's an actor. I'm not saying he wasn't hurt.
Right.
He's an actor. I said he probably is hurt, but he probably put some added stuff. Hey, make my eyes red, But what I'm saying is, also, they said Facebook got like 1 billion something views or something. Like, you don't think they got paid for that? I guarantee they got paid for that.
Oh yeah, because I think her deal is with Facebook.
Exactly. So of course, like people was like, who's gonna interview Jada? And then of course, why not Will? Like he's gonna call you out, tell you, So it was a good business move. But I honestly think there's like, well, it's out now. August running his mouth. And I personally think he did give him the okay. He was like, hey, I've been knocking your wife down, but I want to ask you, I want your permission.
Get out of here.
Can I take the condom off?
Oh, my God. You tripping. I just can't. I just can't prescribe to it,
man. Okay, look. We've heard plenty of rumors. Like, Will's been with Eva Mendes. Will's been with all these actresses.
I have never heard
I can't think of it. But now... I mean, come on now. We're probably like, look, don't say anything. Jada ain't got no control over her hoes. That's it. You seen the picture. Like, why are you running your mouth, August? Of course, because his album's out. Of course.
Right.
But you told me to find a quote. There's a video, but I'm going to read the quote. In 2015, they said, dang, I can't find it now.
Oh, man.
Here it is. Will is his own man. I'm here as his partner, but he's his own man. If he decides to do whatever he wants, that's on him. That's not on me. And vice versa. I can do whatever I want to do.
Paul, that is not insinuating no open relationship.
Read between the lines, no.
Right. But see, I'm reading between the lines. What I'm thinking is that there's a lot of marriages where, you get to a certain point and because I think it's gonna start with the husband first, especially somebody like Will Smith, somebody that's so iconic and so wealthy and so world renowned, where it's like, how many women are throwing themselves at Will, so to the point where, as a wife, she in her mind she's probably thinking like, well, I can't control him, I can't dictate what he's gonna do, so. When asked about it, she's like, well, Will his own man. He's a grown up, which a lot of people say stuff like that. Like, oh, he's a grown up. I can't do nothing about, I can't stop him from doing whatever he's going to do. And likewise, like he can't stop me from what I'm going to do. But I don't think that's them insinuating that they're in an open relationship. And back to your point about them being more in a business relationship, I totally believe that, because even on the interview, to me, the energy that they were giving off was that of a brother and sister almost. Like, they didn't even seem like people that were really genuinely in this loving relationship. It just seemed more like, we've been around each other for so long. We got so much love for each other just as human beings that no matter what happens, we're gonna rock through it as family. Like, we've built this family structure. But still, even in saying that, I still don't believe that what's in the middle of all of that is that we're in an open relationship. That's not what I believe.
Okay, well, I'm looking at more things about how. Did you know there was a rumor? Like you said, just a rumor. No. I'm just saying that they said Mark Anthony. I didn't know this at the time. Mark Anthony and Jada Pinkett were in a relationship.
Never heard of that.
You never heard? I didn't know that. It was based off Hawthorne, her show.
Oh, okay.
I mean, a real relationship.
Okay. I know.
All right. Regardless, first of all, we don't know these people.
What happened to your? Oh, you already read your evidence.
No. There's a video of them being on Red Tabletop talking about insinuate they're in an open relationship. There, it is. It is.
Oh.
Man,
yeah, y'all are running with that too much. Like,
nah, you in denial, man.
No, I'm not in denial. Because I don't care either way.
Well, I know that. I understand, but you have to understand. It's just like you don't believe in that doesn't mean they don't believe in that.
That's a fact. There's
plenty of people who be
that's a
bang
fact.
my wife out. I don't care as long as we happy. Like, you heard of cuckold? You heard of that?
They call it what?
Cuckold.
Oh man, we not about to
You
get into
heard of that? All right.
I heard
All
that.
right. So it happens.
Paul,
like,
stop
I've never
it.
experienced it, but I'm just saying, like, there's plenty
Stop
of people
it.
who be like, we got an open relationship. It doesn't matter.
Stop it.
All right, man. Regardless, let's move on, man. So
what else is going on that you that's been on your mind?
So a lot of women have been bashing men. This opened up the gateway for, men versus women again. And let me say one thing.
It's gonna be like that to the end of time.
I want to say one thing, and I'm sure you can agree on this. If it was vice versa with Will and Jada, Will would be getting crucified right now. Like Jada is getting like, it's Jada. She can do whatever she wants, blah, blah, blah. If Will got some young chick that's 20 plus years younger, he been banging her, smashing, people be like, oh, men are dogs, this and that. Jada ain't getting none of that. She ain't getting none of that smoke.
That's a fact. I mean, that's just, I think when situations happen like this where a woman, Jada didn't necessarily cheat, but just in a situation that looks like a person cheated or just a scandal that involves a woman sleeping with another person as opposed to a man, which is kind of like the usual story. I think that women are not sympathetic to men in that regard because they always felt like men do this all the time, right? And to me, that is true. Like, even though that double standard does exist in the world, I think that at the end of the day, people have to stop trying to equate women to men. We're not the same.
Right.
A man can go out here and smash 10 girls in a row, come home and act like nothing ever happened. Right. Have no attachment, no emotion, no nothing.
Women get
as it relates
emotionally.
to it. Women are biologically as it relates to physiology and certain, chemicals that are released. When they have sex with men, they create a bond with that person, whether it's subconscious or not. So this idea that, men do that 100 times, so now they mad that Jada got her groove back. It's like, no, it's not about that. It's about the fact that y'all have to stop trying to be like us, because men aren't cheating or doing this stuff because we're trying to do something. Men do that shit because really it's in our DNA to do it. Like, it's really instinctual. When a man sees a woman, it's not like he's like, oh, this is a fine time to cheat. Right. It's a drive that's within us. It's in the nature of science, period. When a male sees a female, there are subconscious things at work within the brain, within physiology, that is driving this man to seek out this female.
Right.
It's like I said, it's nature. So I think that it's foolish for women to keep thinking and trying to say like, oh, women can do what men do and women have sex with dudes and don't be emotional about it. And I'll be like, yeah, but they're trying to do that. They're not naturally doing that. They've been hurt so many times that they've put themselves in this zone. But men, we ain't gotta be in no zone. That's just who we are.
Wait, give a disclaimer. Not all men cheat.
No, I'm not saying that all men cheat. What I'm saying is that for a fact, Paul, that when we see women, whether we're in a relationship, married, whatever, it don't matter. Not saying that you're gonna go, that you're actually gonna do it, but in your mind, your brain is constructing this imagery of especially. I'll give you a perfect example, right? Women always question like, why can't a man say no to a girl, right? Like, say like you go out with your homeboys and a girl press up on you, right? They find it so hard to believe that men don't have the willpower, and some do. Don't get me wrong, some do have the willpower to reject women. But see, this is what women got to realize, and this is, women just be so oblivious to a lot of this stuff. Women don't have to deal with rejection like men do.
Oh no, not at all. Yeah.
Right. So like for every 100 girls that a dude might try to talk to, he might get 10 of them. Might get
Big
10
might,
of them, right? Just percentage wise,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like the numbers are not in his favor. Whereas with women can virtually do whatever they want to at any given time, any time of the day. They pick up the phone, call a dude, say, "Hey, come over here." Most likely the dude's coming, right?
Exactly.
So they don't understand that a man has dealt with rejection so long in his lifespan that when a woman comes on to him, his natural inclination is to seek that out because it don't happen like that all the time.
Yeah, right.
So in his mind, he's thinking like, if I don't talk to this girl, somebody else gonna talk to this girl.
Somebody else gonna,
and I would be a fool not
Yeah.
to do. He's gonna regret it if he doesn't do it. So it's gonna be one of those things. And like I said, I'm not saying that all men are gonna cheat as a result of that, but I do think, honestly, and women can say whatever they want. A dude should get a pat on the back for not cheating.
Yeah, exactly.
because it really is rooted in our DNA.
Right.
I really feel like we're really hunters in that way. Like women aren't hunters in that way. Women aren't, like I said, women aren't out here shooting their shots with dudes 1,000,000 miles an hour like dudes are. So it's not in your nature. Even if societal pressures weren't there, I really don't think women would still naturally want to shoot their shot at a dude at the clip that a man shoots their shot at a woman.
Well,
you know what I mean?
what I tell them too is like, I've always said it. Women be like, "Oh, it's hard to get in a relationship." I'm like, "Nah," because you be rejecting them. Like, dudes be want to holler,
Right,
and
that's
you
a
tell
fact.
them yes or no, but it's up to you. It's always up to the woman.
Right.
And they be like, "Well, maybe I didn't look good." I was like, "Trust me, from a man's perspective, it doesn't matter how you look out in public or whatever. If they want to holler, we gonna holler at you, like plain and simple." And like you said, you have the freedom to say yes or no, and you're not the one reject. I mean, you don't want to reject them, but you're not the one getting rejected, like you were saying.
Right.
And it's just, I don't know. Women just, I guess they just don't understand. They try to compare, and it's not the same. Just like dating, whatever. But what I was gonna ask you, So, growing up, you seen. Tell me how the difference is you growing up and being younger and older. Because me and a couple of my friends and Nicole, we discussed how women don't want the nerdy guy or the the lame, quote unquote lame guy until later in life when something happens to them.
Right.
I was telling Nicole about the Russell Wilson and Sierra situation, the Future situation.
Oh man, you open a can of worms.
Yeah, and of course I was explaining to her how, from my perspective, only my perspective, growing up, I see women, they're fine, whatever, they get it all. They're dating dudes in college and they're in high school still.
Absolutely.
That's a whack move. They lame. They have all this going on with them. They bad. But people like me and you, people who watch anime, whatever, comic books, we're nerds. We don't get the time of day. But when that chick has 4 or 5 kids, she busted, she ain't got nothing going for her. Now she wants to give us a chance because ain't nobody else trying to holler at her.
And I feel exactly what you're saying, but they ain't,
No,
not all of them have 4 or 5 kids. It's just when they get to a certain point.
Yeah. And I always said, why is it from a woman's perspective that y'all have to wait till something bad happens to y'all to get with the guy that that was always there?
Well, let me say this, and we were talking about this off the recording, and I'm not gonna go too deep in it. I don't feel like getting too deep for everybody. It might go over too many people's heads, or it might just sound like I'm a complete nutcase.
Educate them,
way, right?
Educate.
So I think the reason why that is because women are actually the dominant ones, right? So I'm actually giving y'all somewhat of a compliment. I think throughout time, men have manipulated it to look like we're the dominant ones, but truly, there's nothing more dominant than a woman and her sexual ability to persuade, and and then on top of that, if she's intelligent, a woman can get a lot done, with those powers alone. Stuff that men can't do. Men cannot throw their sexual being around and get anything accomplished for the most part.
You look at social medias like that.
Right, like, so if a woman wants to get something done between her sexual energy and her intellect, she can get it done. So my point to that is that women are actually the real savages, right? Like they be trying to make it like men are the savages. And truth be told, I think it's actually women, and I think they know that, and I think that amongst their circles they discuss that, but that is something that they'll never say publicly because they don't want men to know that this is something that they've kind of held on to for a minute, that they know their power. They just put it off to us like, oh my God. They play the victim all the time instead of just owning up to the fact that they're the real savages. But my point to that, without going too far down that road, is that I think the reason why they talk to those types of dudes as opposed to the nerd is because internally they know they're a savage, right? They do stuff that they'll never tell nobody that they've done. But within themselves, they know like, dang girl, I'm a savage, right? So they need a dude that is asserting himself in that savage way, because as this dominant figure, why would you talk to a nerd who's displaying no form of dominance? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think in their mind, well, if I'm gonna talk to a dude, I'm gonna at least talk to a dude that is almost as savage as me or just as savage as me. You see what I'm saying? And so I think really that is the root of it, because I've always, I was the kid early on in life who couldn't get a girlfriend, was quiet, introverted, nerdy, you know what I mean, getting the good grades, you know what I mean? Like and the girls, all they wanted to talk to was the kid getting kicked out of school, the kid that ain't been to school in 60 days, and the kid that's in ISS, and the dope boy, and the dude that's getting arrested, and the class clown, like those were the guys that they were attracted to. But I think it boils down to the fact that they were savages, and they needed somebody to match that energy to them. And that quiet kid wasn't going to do it for them. Like, it wasn't just from a subconscious, I think it's a subconscious thing. Like, I don't think it's something that people genuinely think about. I think it's just people, especially women being emotional creatures, I think that they go off that emotion. Whatever that they appeal to in that emotional way, like if one of those guys does something and it invokes a certain type of feeling, they automatically are attracted to it. Whereas like you as a nerd, how you gonna invoke emotion in a girl other than other than her feeling like you lame? Because what are you gonna be talking to her about? If she's a savage for real, what y'all gonna talk about?
Right.
Because if you on some nerdy stuff, she don't want to talk about that.
Right.
Unless she's a nerd herself, you know what I mean? So I think that has a lot to do with it, because over the years I always would bump my head trying to figure it out. Like, why does this cycle keep happening? Like, you can look at your own family and say, I can look at my family and say, why didn't I have a father, right? Why did my first cousin not have a father in her life? And I think it's because early on in women's lives, they're just going off pure emotion and what invokes them. So oftentimes that's going to end up being the cool dude, the drug dealer, the dude that can dance good, the dude that can throw the ball the best, the dude that got the most status. That's going to be what invokes them to have that emotional attachment and want to build a bond with this person, because they're showing their version of dominance in what a man is. And I think that a dude being nerdy, that's in their subconscious, that's not dominant to them, and that is a pitfall for women, because they don't realize that intelligence is actually the true dominance. Like, this dude that's the nerd, like Mark Zuckerberg is dominant, okay? Jeff Bezos is dominant. Like, they are nerds. They didn't, these aren't dudes that were getting all the girls in school, but yet when it played out in reality, when it was time to show up, they're the ones on top of the totem pole.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this idea that this basketball player or this football player or this dude with the status is the dominant one, I think that that's just something that they've been misled. They've allowed their emotion to carry them for so long that what ends up happening is that, like you said, those 3, 4, 5 kids in, or just after they've gotten older, they're starting to use their logic, and they start realizing, and don't get me wrong, I don't even believe that even when they get to that point that they actually like the dude.
Right.
I think that they just realize that I need to start slowing down and trying to build some type of structure. I need a good role model for my kids or for my future kids. So this dude that I've been chasing, that I think is showing this type of dominance, that's not going to be what is conducive in the future. So I need to pick a dude who I can control.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A dude that if I tell him to take care of me, he going to do it without question. He going to pay for whatever I want. He going to do whatever I tell him to do. Happy wife, happy life type shit. And that's going to be what it is. And so, and once again, like, we're not saying that all women are like this, because there are some out there that, choose their men, with some logic involved. But oftentimes when you're dealing with women, logic is not there. You know what I mean? It's a lot of emotion.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to keep dwelling on Russell and Sierra, but it's like everybody that listen to music, that watch TV, music. Everybody knew Future won shit, but here comes Sierra chasing this man, doing this, having a baby with him, doing all this, and then breaking news, Future cheating on,
But peep this out, right? To that point, let's go back to Will and Jada for a second, and then I'll come back to Future and Sierra. If you look at the two, it's the same exact thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jada came out her mouth and said, "I thought I could fix him."
Mm-hmm.
August is going through this stuff. I just thought I could fix him. I thought that I could get him back on track, and I see that with women oftentimes where, like, you question, like, dang, why is this girl with this abusive dude, or why is this girl tolerating this stuff? And I think that, and I've had women confirm this, like, this isn't just conjecture, like, this has come out of many people's mouths, many women's mouths, as truth, is that oftentimes women feel like they can help somebody. They feel like they can change somebody. And so even with Jada saying that she feel like she could change August, it was the same thing with Sierra. Sierra knew Future wasn't shit.
Yeah.
She knew, he got all these kids by all these different women. But in her mind, she knew him. She said, he got a good personality. You know what I mean? Like, he's generous with it. He's generous with his money. He does all this stuff for me. He buys all this stuff. And he's to me, he treats me well. So who am I to judge him if he's treating me well? I know people are saying all this, and that's how people are. Like, they hear stuff about a person, but they say, well, I'm gonna find out for myself. You know what I mean? And so when that person treats them well to a certain degree, they feel like, oh, well, they treat me well, so that's the foundation. I can change all that other stuff. Not realizing, like, bro, you're never changing
exactly.
that. Like, Future, come on, Future is a rap. He is a rap star, like, superstar. Drugs, guns, and violence, and Molly's and Percocets, like. This dude is not about that. What you think he about to turn into just because he with you?
But that's the thing, though, is like, they say they want to change him, but even after, like, I can't stand when people put up a picture of goals, this relationship goals. I'm like, y'all don't know them, but you heard about the bad thing. So why are you still trying to chase that person?
Well, see, and it's interesting because I think that at the end of the day, women will still post to Sierra and Russell Wilson and say goals because, once again, they're not looking. They're like, I don't think a woman really ever truly looks at herself and says, I used to date a bunch of losers for real. Now I got common sense and I'm dating a dude like Russell Wilson. I don't think they look at it like that. I think that no matter what, they're never going to really take accountability for it because it was an emotional draw. I think women think that anything that hits them emotionally is an honest thing and that it's nothing that should need explaining. You see what I'm saying? So when a man challenges them like a Sierra and Future situation and say, Sierra, come on, like, why would you talk to Future knowing he ain't shit? Well, her emotion draw him to her. So she probably feels in her mind that she didn't do anything wrong. So there's nothing to correct. It's just, she probably feels like it was a learning curve. People always talking about, and I hate when people do this. They be saying shit like, everything happens for a reason. And I'm not saying that mostly everything happens for a reason. I do feel like mostly everything.
Yeah.
But you choosing some ragamuffin to date, some dude that's going to do you dirty or abuse you or not be like any type of role model for your kids. Like, I don't really think that happens for a reason.
Exactly.
The reason is because you are just not making adult, grown, logical decisions. Yeah. You're just going off your emotion. And if men went off their emotion, men would just date strippers.
Right.
If we were going off our emotion, because they're giving us you naked any time of the day, or really, logically, if a man was using his logic, we wouldn't get married. We would just pay prostitutes. I know that might sound crazy, but what I'm saying is that it's an exchange. It's a fair exchange. I give you money, you give me what I want, and we go our separate ways. And that's it. You don't nag me. You don't ask me for nothing. You don't say, pay this bill. You don't say this. Logically, it makes perfect sense. Mm-hmm. But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, emotionally.
Emotionally.
That would make sense. Not logically.
Yeah, not logically.
Emotionally, that would make sense. Mm-hmm. But then logically, you're like, well, it don't make sense. A lot of that,
But that's the thing, because I was talking, and I personally didn't think Sierra liked Russell Wilson when they first started. I was like, man, she was just trying to.
I still don't think she likes him.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I said. I was like, I don't think Sierra likes Russell Wilson. I think she's just doing that to overcome her image with Future. She's trying to find someone will be a better father figure, like you said. People on Russell Wilson's team don't even like him. They said this man is fake. Like he ain't who he acts like to be. And so I always come to the conclusion, like, why do women do that? Like they always do that. And
because back to my point, I think that they are truly the dominant ones. I think women from jump know that I'm gonna be able to do what I want to do. Like that's why we see it in grade school up until out of college, right? Mm-hmm. The whole time, women been doing whatever they wanted to do. They pick the dudes that they want to talk to, and the future types. But in the mind, they already know, like I'm gonna do what I want to do as long as I can. And then once I get to a certain age where I gotta start having kids, then I'm going to do what's logical. I think they already know that. I think they know that from a young age.
Nah, some of these chicks, a lot of them, they want to settle after, so many things have gone wrong with them.
Right, but I guess what I'm saying is that knowing that from a young age, I think that I think the mindset is this. I'm going to talk to whoever I want to talk to, right? Mm-hmm. Which is going to be the future type, the dope boy, the basketball player, football player, whoop-de-whoop. Because they can, right? Because they have that power. They have that dominance to do that, to be able to be picky. Mm-hmm. Man, unless you just a fly dude, you know what I'm saying? Nice whip, nice car, smell good, haircut, doing what you want to do out here, where you get a pick, your pick of the litter. Yeah. Unless you on that type of time, then you never gonna understand how it is to be a woman. Like women can do whatever they want, especially if you're an attractive woman. Anything, you can do whatever you want.
Right.
You can pick whoever you want at any given time. At the drop of a dime, you can have 100 dudes in your phone, and you say, "Okay, any, mini, money, mo, I'm gonna choose this one. Pull up on me, take me out, do this."
I've seen it, man.
So I guess what I'm saying is that I think that they know they've had that mentality since young, and they said to themselves, like, if I can get this future type to change, that would be ideal for me.
But it ain't gonna happen. They don't.
But if it doesn't, I still win because I can get some lame dude to wife me up and take care of me. I think they know that. I'm telling you, bro. I really truly believe that they always know that. Like they always knew that, even from a young age.
Well,
and like I said, it's not all women. Some women, make good
it's
decisions.
not all women. I'm just saying it's just like. But for the women who don't realize that, I don't think all women realize the power that they have. But they always say, hey, my life is in shambles, so let me just go ahead and get with some loser now, like you said. I'm talking about not all of them think that.
But and that's the crazy thing. And like I said, the point I'm trying to make is that it's so funny that the dude that they settle with is looked at like he's lame. That's hilarious to me because it's just like, how egotistical or narcissistic do you got to be to try to label somebody who's trying to do the right thing?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that. Like to me that shows me that women really think they're the dominant ones, or that they are the dominant ones. Because to come out and make statements like, "Oh, this dude is," like, when do you ever hear a dude say a girl is a square?
Right.
Or like, this girl, oh, that chick lame.
Yeah.
Like she ain't got no swag. She lame. Like dudes don't even talk like that about women.
Right.
Like we just concerned with, she cool, she cute. Whoop-de-whoop. That's about it. Like it really don't be.
We ain't with the popularity contest.
Yeah, like we don't really care about that. But I think once again that goes back to just nature. Like men are into looks and things like that. What girl might be like. Best to bear children and stuff like that. And women are geared scientifically to look for status and stability. Which back in the day, if we were talking about like hunter-gatherer times, that mentality would draw them to the man who could hunt the best, who could fish the best, the one that could provide, nourishment for their situation.
I see
but now
why you want to be a fisher. I see why you be fishing.
Hey man, I'm just saying, like I'm taking it back.
I see what
I'm
you
taking
doing.
it back, because I mean a lot of these chicks don't even talk to dudes. They could change their own tire. You know what I mean? Like they really be they thinking that these dudes are dominant, but dominant how? Like you know what I mean? Like dude can't even do the basics. He can't even put up sheetrock in his house. He can't even change a tire. He can't, these manly things that really make you a man.
But,
you know what I mean?
In today's time now, it matters how many followers you have on Instagram, and like women actually base that off of, oh, should I talk to him? Like, what?
No, that's facts.
What? Why? What does that matter?
That's facts. I mean, I've been in arguments with women. I've had women say I was weird because I really wasn't on social media. And I tell people straight up, like, I'm too intellectual to use social media as some type of like, I think people are starting to use social media as your resume.
Right. Yeah.
The same way you have a resume that you've built that you send into a job and they decide like, okay, we see these qualities on here, or these institutions he went to or went to school here, or this job here. They're using that to judge you, to decide whether you're a good fit for their organization. A woman is using your social media the same way to figure out if you're a good fit for her in a relationship.
Right.
Like, oh, is this dude traveling? Is he doing this? What is he doing? What is he up to on there? Is he working? Is he posting videos of him working out? Is he posting videos of him traveling? Is he doing this? Let me see how he dresses. Let me do this. It's like, it's your online resume. And I'm not going for it. Right. Like, I don't have nothing to prove to anybody.
Yeah, I would say, like I said, I'm on social media. You see me, I'm on it a lot.
Facts.
But I don't put you don't see my personal life on there.
Yeah.
I don't put none of it on there. It don't matter to me.
Right.
I might post a picture of me outside with Nicole or somebody, but hey, I don't want everybody in my business, and it don't matter either. This ain't no popularity contest. So
well, it is though. That's the thing.
I'm saying
it actually is.
You're right, but I'm saying it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. Like,
it should be.
Like I see people like, I'm not gonna be friends with them on Facebook. Why? Because they don't have enough friends. So I'm like, okay, what does that have to do with anything? So.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, bro. Like I said, I didn't been in numerous arguments and weird type of interactions with people because they felt like, because when you meet people now, you see it all the time. Like a dude, not even speaking about me, but just like when you even things that you observe, like you'll see a dude go up to a girl, ask for the number, and she'll say, "How about we just exchange social media, tags first?" And it's like, okay, the same way I send you this message on social media,
it's gonna be the same.
It's just a message. So like, the message you get on your phone, you getting both of the messages on your phone. Just because I got your phone number doesn't mean like I can automatically like find out where you live.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? Like it's like we've put too much emphasis on the use of social media as if it's some type of like proxy or barrier.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter first. Follow me.
It's like you got more of your personal information on social
there.
media.
Yeah, exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So it's just like I really think that and to kind of go into social media a little bit, if you want to take it there, like I really think social media is making people psychotic.
Oh yeah.
Because check this out. At one point in history, there was a such thing as stalking, right? Like people stalking a person, right?
Yeah,
like always wanting to know what the person's doing, wanting to know where they at. Mm-hmm. The time of different things, like who they talking to, who they hanging around. Like that was stalking at one point. Now we've like with social media, we've legitimized stalking.
We're
like,
numb to it.
No. Like we're inviting people to like social media is actually inviting somebody to stalk you. You're like, hey, check out my social media. Come stalk me a little bit. Like, and they want you to do that.
But
like,
it's also that's how crimes are committed. Like we was always taught. Well, I know Nicole's parents was like, hey, when you go out of the country, don't put that on your social media. Hey, I'm headed out.
Right, somebody might rob you.
Yeah, if someone knows where you live, they'll rob you. Like, you ain't at home.
Right.
Or, there's plenty of people like, I hate to say Pop Smoke, I was
just about to say that, right.
Pop Smoke had his address on there, and they robbed and killed him. Like,
and that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, people got to stop with it.
Yeah.
Like, I know, I get it. Like, you're addicted to it.
Right.
It's just like, as kids, we could have been addicted to a Game Boy or to a Dreamcast or a yo-yo, whatever it was at that time, a Gigapet, whatever it was. I understand that as time goes along, new things come into the fold, and it kind of takes on the place of that old thing, right? So I get it from that perspective. Social media is this new thing. Sometimes it's fun. You like to scroll. It's always something new, whoop-de-whoop. but are you looking at the detrimental effects that it's having on you too? You know, those effects where like, you know, like check this out, right? Have you ever seen it where, say like you texting a girl, right? Or like you and somebody are having a text interaction. And now they got these red, you know, like where like, you know, you can turn it on where you know if the person read your message, right?
Yeah, read the text. Yeah.
So now we've intertwined all these different variables of between communication and social media where like you could text somebody and it says delivered, it says read, so you know they opened it, right? But yet there's no response.
Yeah, they didn't respond to it.
Right, so now you paranoid because you're like, are they ignoring me?
Yeah.
Do they not want to talk to me? So now you're going down the rabbit hole just based on these small variables of being able to know whether somebody saw what you sent, read what you sent.
What they doing?
It's psychotic. You see what I'm saying? Like it's too much, bruh. Like it's literally too much. And then like I'll give you a perfect example. Say I send a text, or say a girl sends me a text. It's read. She knows it. Then I turn around. I don't respond to her. I turn around and I go on my social media and I'm just living my life. Right? I just make a post. And then when she goes on my social media, she sees what time I made this post. And she goes back to her phone and says, well, I sent him this message 5 minutes before he made that post. But yeah, he didn't respond to me. Now she can insinuate that you trying her.
Yeah, you ignoring
her. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, and probably you are. You see what I'm saying? But I think that all those variables for the human brain, it's like information overload. It's like you never get time, you never get this downtime to really like objectively look at reality as just like this normal place. Like now it's like all these different things that you're caught up in. Oh, I texted this time, they didn't respond. At this time, they left me on red. They posted on their social media. I hit them back up, and then the person tried to make it seem like they didn't ignore me. So did they really ignore me, or did they not? Like it's just like, bro, are we crazy now? Like it's just like it's too much.
Well,
bro.
my parents are old. They're like in their late 60s.
Right.
And my dad made a good point. He said we are the last generation of having our own privacy, and
Facts.
we don't have our privacy now. So he said, and there's nothing you can do about it. He was like, you guys are always on social media.
I mean, it's something you can do about it.
Well, yeah, you can disconnect.
Right, exactly.
But there's certain things like he tells me he pays his, he still sends his mail and, pays his bill in the mail. And I was like, Dad, you can do that over the phone. He's like, yeah, but I want all my information on there. I was like,
facts.
That's true, but it's more convenient too. Like,
right.
I was like, I'd rather pay my bill online than spending $10 on gas and going to the bank. I was like, that's fine. But he made a good point. Like, your privacy's gone. It's gone.
And you know what's so funny? And I hope I say this accurately. I'm gonna try to say it as close to what I heard. I think I was watching a movie about Eric Snowden. Who was like he kind of got implicated in a bunch of like, he came out and told the U.S. public that the government was spying on them. I think he maybe worked at the CIA at one time. And so I was watching a movie that was about him and that whole situation about privacy and the government spying in on its citizens and all the Patriot Act and all that stuff, right? And I remember one of the people in the movie said, one of the critical people that I think was in the CIA, he was having a debate with somebody about privacy. And what he told them was, and like I said, I want to get this right, but what he basically alluded to was that the American public would rather be safe. Like they will exchange their privacy for safety. So what that means is, like, say with the Patriot Act, right? Like, so the Patriot Act is the ability for them to like read emails and go through your text messages if they feel like, you're up to no good or something like that. So from a national security perspective, right? So what he's saying is that the public will give up their right to their privacy for the ability for us to keep them safe. So they'll allow us to intrude on their privacy.
As long as they're safe.
That's the price that they're going to pay, right? So back to your point about what your dad said, it's like, for him, it makes sense to mail that stuff in because his information won't be out there. But the point you made is that to do it online is more convenient. And most people will take that convenience over privacy.
Right. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Which don't let it slip. That's a very profound thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think people really, and back to your point about us being the last generation to have privacy, like, I don't really think people understand what that really means, especially our generation. I think the older generation, like your dad, they know that because they grew up their whole lives with privacy.
Yeah.
Privacy was a thing. Like, don't be coming around this house.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want people to know where I live.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want people to know what I'm doing. Like, that was a thing at one point. And because of social media, because of all these location services, and even with the Earl Thomas situation where he was cheating on his wife and his wife actually found where his location was and pulled up with a gun, and a homegirl had a knife or whatever. It's like, y'all really don't see how this is nuts. Like, this is nuts, guys.
But
like,
thinking about that too, just think about Uber and Lyft. Like, that driver has your address now.
Facts.
Like, I forgot what movie I watched. I can't remember what it was, but the guy got an Uber and it was his whole family, and they were like, no, he got valet parking. That's what it was.
Okay.
And he was like, yeah, me and my family are going to another country. We're gonna be gone for 2 weeks. And the valet parker was like, okay, y'all gonna be gone. So okay, cool. So he went in the car, looked up their house on the GPS that's in the car, and robbed them. Like,
facts.
And like, today in today's age, you got GPS. Like, of course, you have all these addresses on there. It could be your house, it could be your job, whatever, and they have access to that. Just like Uber and Lyft. Like I said, you can be a celebrity and someone come pick you up. Oh, I know where they stay at now. I know exactly where they stay at. Or I have an idea of where they stay at.
This is facts.
And that's, like you said, that's convenient. You not driving, but someone else is driving for you.
Yeah. And even like, I know people like, over the last few years, like I've always stayed in apartments that were kind of like enclosed, right? Yeah. And the reason why that is because I just don't like the idea of living in an apartment that somebody can just walk up to my door.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling it, bro. No kind of way do I feel safe in that regard. Like, if somebody gonna come for me, you gonna have to figure it out, bro.
Yeah, bro, I couldn't even find your room.
You gonna have to figure, like real talk. You gonna have to figure it out because that's a real thing. You know what I mean? Like, people will roll up on you, like whether it could be a girl, trying to run down on you, trying to catch you cheating or doing whatever, or it could be your enemy, your opposition that is trying to hunt you down. Like, just like Pop Smoke, it's like, Pop Smoke, you gotta know, bro. Yeah. You cannot be in a house that's not gated, bro.
Yeah.
You're a superstar, basically. Are you nuts?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And then you flash the address. Of course, it was by mistake, hopefully. Well, I guess it doesn't matter now, but from what people feel about the whole situation, they feel like it was accidental. But it's to the point that you cannot be in certain environments. You cannot be in 2020 and be so lax with your privacy.
Right.
And I feel like that from our generation on, especially to this next generation, we've normalized, like I said, we've pretty much normalized stalking at this point, unknowingly, to the point where you do have situations like Pop Smoke where you just got random people running down on you in the Hollywood Hills. Like, bruh, you should have some type of safety in certain places, right? But the truth is that when privacy is at an all-time low and people can find access to where you are and who you with and all this, that, you're going to have situations like that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's an inevitability. And I think, there was an article the other day where Quavo was talking about Pop Smoke, and he said he wished that he could have, kind of told him
with the Airbnb.
Yeah, like it's just certain stuff, especially when you're on that level, that you just cannot do. Like Rihanna, you're not gonna catch Rihanna in a house that's ungated, that anybody can drive down the street and look at the front door and walk up to the front door. And
it's dangerous.
Impossible.
It's dangerous because remember, even with LeBron, like, they wrote "nigger" on his house, and he has a gated house. Like, just imagine that.
Right, but he did have a gate.
No. I'm saying, imagine someone doing that and he had a gate.
Right,
and
exactly.
Compared to someone who doesn't, and doesn't have any security.
Right, nothing. That's fact. There's no telling what they could do.
Yeah, like they did that to what? Chris Brown. Someone ran up in Chris Brown's house.
I remember one story was that, and see, I think actually
it's happened more than once.
Yeah, I don't think that they actually got into Chris's house.
No,
I think
one chick did get in his house.
Yeah, it might have been. I think it might have been multiple stories, but I know another story was, and I think this was after the chick got in his house, where like they set it up where you couldn't just easily access the house, but there was a chick trying to get in, but she was like in a field behind the house, but they had like this huge retaining wall that you couldn't get past. And maybe they added that after the first incident. But that, like I said, like you're saying, like it goes back to the point that you just got to know time and place and know what times you're living in, and know that your privacy is actually probably the most important thing you can have.
But that's the thing. So like with my dad, I told him about debit cards and credit cards. Nah. So I asked, this is up in Walmart. You know, it's 30 people behind us, and this man pulls out a check, and I'm like, bro, you're getting $8 worth of groceries, and you pull a check out.
I used to hate when I was like, even my parents back in the day, like I used to be looking at them sideways. Like I've never wrote a check in my life.
This was last year, bro. This was 2019. He pulled a check. I was like, bro, you getting medicine from the pharmacy, and you pulled a check out. People waiting. I was like, look, it's gonna be quicker if I just get my debit card and just swipe. He's nah, I want to use my check. Like I was like, nah, bro, I'll give you the $8. Like, come on now, like. Right. But that's why I was telling him. He was like, I don't want to use a debit card. They'll steal your info. I was like, look at your check. In the bottom, there's your account number and your routing number on it. What are you talking about?
The worst thing to use.
I said, what are you talking about? At least fight for it if you're gonna scam my debit card. But that's just the difference.
And I want to say this to people, like, this is the era of information being stolen. Like this, like 2020, the height of technology, the height of computers, the height of fast speed intranet and internet, and all these different technological advances. Like, don't worry about your information getting stolen. It's gonna have everybody at this point. I don't know a person that hasn't had their information stolen. They debit card, they credit card, they routing number, checking number, social security, like all these different things. As we can see with these companies like Equifax and Target and all these different ones who've had these, these credit breaches. Like it's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
Your information is out there.
But don't get that confused. It's funny because people be like, oh, I don't want to get the smart TV, blah, 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 because they listen in. I'm like, trust me, they listen to your shit anyway.
That's a fact.
They listen to your stuff no matter what.
But and to that point, like, I'm one of them people. You know what I mean? Like, clearly I have a smart TV in my crib. Multiple ones, but I do try to limit, if I can, that type of technology.
Oh, no.
Like, I know, like, my, whether, I like, say Alexa, right? Like, I was hanging out at my friend's house.
She is listening, by the way. They've said she's listening. Like,
facts. I was hanging at my friend's house, and they had the Alexa basically wired throughout the whole house.
So it's a smart house now,
right? So they can just say Alexa, and she comes on like Siri, and you say play this song or cut this light off, and she does it. And like, I was scared, bruh. Like, I legitimately was. People say whatever they want. I was scared because I'm like, yo, I don't think people know what this is. Like, this type of intrusion, bro, it might come up. And I think that's what these companies are banking on. Like, the technology looks so cool that you're looking past the privacy issue.
Right.
But the truth be told, like you're saying about Alexa, like, even there was one case where I think a parents had put Alexa in their child's room, and some Alexa, whoever the parent company to Alexa is, I can't think of it right now, but some employees decided to hack into this particular device, and they were talking to the little girl.
Oh yeah, I heard that
through the thing.
Yeah, I heard that,
and I was like, bruh, if we continue to, like, once you hear that, there should be no more sales of this shit.
Yeah.
Because that's showing you that it has gotten to a point where privacy is at zero. There is no such thing as it anymore. Because when somebody has access to your home through a device that they can speak to you or monitor you, during conversations and stuff like that, like, yeah, I know they can do that through my phone or through my smart TV or anything smart or that has that type of capabilities, but I'm always limit that type of technology. Like,
like I said, I limit it
the best I can.
It's just like I joke around, which I actually do. They have, like, you see how you have your laptop out right now. They got the webcam on there. They be like, oh, they looking. Man, I be butt ass naked. Be like, hey, if y'all looking, you gonna see me butt naked in front of this camera. But there are certain extents that I have. Like, there's certain things I won't do. Right. Like, I had problems with my iPhone the other day. And they was like, oh, we can control this and look at everything. I was like, oh, I figured that. And And it was like, oh, you'll know when we're looking. And I was like, nah, I'm sure there's times where you could look and not notify me.
Right.
But that's crazy that they can do that. You know, they can do that on your computer.
Right. I mean, it's almost like you got Apple products, right?
Yeah.
And have you ever had an Apple issue, called in and said, hey, I need technical support, and they are able to access your computer?
That's what I'm saying. That's what they did.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, from that point on, you're just like, okay, like, I didn't really do anything for them to have access.
Exactly.
They just had access.
Yeah, he was like, turn your Wi-Fi on. I was like, I don't need to turn it on. You already on it.
Right. Then you start seeing them maneuvering on your screen, and you like, bruh.
Yeah, exactly. So,
you know what I mean?
But that's why, like, I'm around Alexa at the house because Nicole has it. And it's like certain things I'm not going to say out loud. I'm sure if she's listening, because I've seen the commercial come on, and it'll say, it has a commercial of Alexa,
right?
And then I can see the Alexa light coming on, like listening. I'm like, okay, so, but like I said, some things I'm okay with, but there's certain extents I'm just not gonna do.
Right.
But I'm gonna pay my bills online. Like I ain't driving to the mail post office.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, and like I said, I think for most people, whether we know it or not, we're unknowingly or knowingly exchanging our privacy for convenience.
Yeah.
It's just that, some people are more cautious than others, you know what I mean? As it relates to, it going overboard. But, I have a whole nother conspiracy theory behind that. I won't get too deep into it, but, yeah, it's crazy, man.
Well, I'm not going to be like my dad. I'll tell you that much. I'm not going to be like that. Like, this man spends $25 every Saturday, put gas in his car, stand in line in the post office, write a check at the grocery store for $10.
He old school, man.
Come on now.
He probably wears socks up to almost to his knee.
That takes 3 hours to do, by the way. All that stuff he does. I do this every Saturday. I'm like, bro, you tripping. Like, if you do this every Saturday.
Right.
But now we covered that. You told me you was going to talk about... girl, was it Jordan Woods?
Jordan Woods.
Yeah, that was Kim Kardashian. I wrote it down.
What about her? You talking about I think we were talking about just how people make these transformations.
Oh yeah.
Like how they look before and then how they look afterwards. And everybody know that. I mean, prime example is Kylie Jenner and just how she went from a basic looking white girl to basically like this, sex symbol or this visual icon that, little girls look up to, which I think is absurd. I get it. We're in this generation where, people like to say this, which is just, like in this generation, what blows my mind to a degree is this idea that if you're not happy with something, fix it. Right. So like, I'm down with that the simplicity of the statement. Mm-hmm. If you're not happy with your weight, go work out. Yeah. Right. If you're not happy with your job situation, go apply to another one. Mm-hmm. Get some skills or go in a different direction. Totally agree with it. But when we get to the point where we're like, if you don't like your looks, go get surgery to the point where you don't even look like yourself.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
Right.
And then on top of that, you have little girls following behind that who are also not happy with how they look because the look that Kylie Jenner has, they will never naturally have that look. So guess what they got to do? Now they have to go get surgery. Yeah. And it's just this slippery slope,
What's
bro.
all of them? I'm talking all the Kardashians, the friends.
Yeah. I mean, I think
is it
Courtney?
Courtney's
is
the only one.
Which I've always been, I'm not really a fan of any of them, but as far as like when people ask me like who's the cutest one, I'm always like Courtney because she's the most natural looking one. I'm not because I think
no ass.
And don't get me wrong, I think that women are always talking about, oh, that's what men want, and men want the girl with the fat ass. Men want the girl with the little waist, and I'm not saying that men aren't attracted to that,
right?
But the idea that every man actually of course the man wants to have sex with her, but it's not because she got that. Men want to have sex with. It's most dudes that want to have sex with anything walking. Like I mean, like I know plenty of dudes that will take whatever they can get.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it's not like this thing where like they're zoning in on like the girl with the fake boobs, the girl with the fake butt,
Man.
the girl with the smallest waist, and then they're like putting all their energy into it. Like,
I
come
tell
on.
people all the time. I said the biggest misconception is that we as men want that, like
Right.
to wife. I'm like, that's not true. We don't want to wife them. Yeah, we want to smash. Yeah, but we don't want to wife them. We like normal, regular women, like the natural women. I was talking to somebody, and just like you said, the fake breasts, the fake ass, the thing. I was like, look, that's all good, but we ain't looking for we ain't just looking for that. Like that's a facade in media,
Right.
in social media.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, I'll take Nia Long.
I was definitely about to say Nia
Long
Long
from Friday.
Yeah.
Any time of the day.
Yeah.
I'll take Janelle Monáe anytime of the day.
Bruh.
I'll take Chloe from Chloe and Holly anytime of the
Here
day.
you go. But I was gonna say
yeah, come on
the
now.
perfect example.
You already know what it is.
The-
Chloe bad, man.
man, here we go.
Hey, if y'all ain't looking, Chloe killing them, bro.
Oh man.
But either way, go ahead.
The perfect example I want to say was Vivica Fox.
Okay.
She was bad before she had all them surgeries.
Lil Kim.
She was like, they was
Lil' Kim
bad.
was cute, bro.
Yeah, like you ain't had to change none of that.
I'm talking about like you go and look at early Lil Kim, you like this is a cute
Nasty Lil' Kim.
little brown skinned girl.
Yeah, but
right.
but
and then in her mind she felt like, well,
had
all
to
the men want the exotic girls. They want the light skinned girls. So let me go make my nose thinner and bleach my skin. And you just like, it's really effing with y'all in y'all brain that much.
Like you said, there's like, I understand some people get surgery. I get that. But like you said, to change your look completely, first of all, we don't even care for the most part. I'm going to say we don't care, but we don't want everything that you see on social media. Yeah, it's good to look at. It's good to look at, but do we want that? Like,
But what did you just say?
What's good to look at on social media?
Social media.
Yeah. But
the social media is driving people up a wall. I'm not gonna say that, bruh. I stay off social media because it drives me up a wall. If I'm on social, and I'm not trying to cut you off, I just want to get this point across. I personally, intentionally stay off of social media because if I stay on there over 10 minutes, I'm gonna think my life sucks. I'm gonna think I don't have enough money. I'm gonna think I'm not fly enough. I'm gonna think that I don't have a good enough girl. I'm gonna think that, I'm gonna think everything about my life is not as good as it should be because all social media is gonna show you, and all people are gonna show you, are the highlights.
Right. Well, that's why I say you got to get past that facade of people because there's plenty of people you see that be faking it on social media.
But they're not unintentionally faking it.
No,
They're faking it on purpose.
That's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. Like they're
Right.
actually like, I got a homeboy. I'm not gonna say his name. Man, he be swearing he got all this money. He got all this. I'm like, bro, you ain't got none of that. Like you just doing that on Facebook. You flexing. Like we
Right.
all know the real you, but the people who don't know you
Right.
thinking, oh, he's doing this, he's doing that. I'm like, nah, he's just doing that because it's social media.
Right.
But like I was saying, people they're stuck on social media and they just get that facade, especially women. They just like, oh, you would date somebody like her. I'm like, no, I wouldn't. She's just good to look at. Like,
And I mean, it doesn't. Okay, let me say that about what you just said, right? Like, if a girl says, "This girl right here with this fake butt and all this work done, and visually she might look good, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm not saying that I wouldn't date her, right? All I'm saying is that if I had to choose Nia Long from Friday or this girl who is faker than a $3 bill, I'm choosing a natural girl.
exactly.
Me personally.
Yeah.
Now, other dudes that are stuck on social media, that let that stuff sway how they feel about what they want. Yes, of course, they're going to choose that girl with the fakeness because all they look at all day is fakeness.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But if you take yourself away from the fakeness, you're going to start to realize, like, it wasn't like this at one point. Women used to just look like they used to be attractive, but they used to just be regular. But now it's like when you look at Nia, I'm gonna just keep using Nia Long from Friday as an example. When you look at her back then, right? She was attractive, but it was a certain level of simplicity.
Yeah.
Right? The hair wasn't all over the place.
Actually, all of them.
She didn't
like
have
that.
all the accessories, the bags and the Gucci and all this and that. She was just a cute girl. And you looked at her and you like, dang, she cute. Like, she's attractive, right? And that's how it used to be for majority of everybody.
Like that Aaliyah stage. When
Right.
When
Like,
Aaliyah
it was just like, you're either attractive or you're not. Like, it's like you're cute or you're not.
Yeah.
Now it's like, girl, if you ain't cute, you can go get some surgery.
Yeah, exactly.
Get cute. Like, Chloe think that she gonna get fine some kind of way through all these surgeries she having. Chloe, you're never gonna be fine, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you gonna, like, I think this newest surgery she got, like, if she stops right here, this might be the best version of herself that she can get through surgery. But she's on that Michael Jackson line where if you go one more surgery, Chloe, you're gonna fuck your face up.
Oh yeah.
like for real. Like, you already did it, but you kind of all right now.
Right.
So just leave it right there.
But she not going to because they
She
keep
not
doing
going
it.
because it's an obsession.
But it's like, I look at like I've had this conversation with Nicole and her sister, and they make fun of me because I tell them like who some of my crushes are, and like I thought about it, and I was like, those are all the natural women, like the natural beauty women. Like, I got a thing for you. You know who Jennifer Lawrence is? Oh no, not Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lewis. You know who that is? The mom from Blackish.
The older lady.
Oh yeah, she fine.
Yeah, I know. What you're talking about. Yeah, she was in like all the black movies.
She's always the mom.
Yeah.
She on Fresh Prince, ain't she? I think she.
Yeah, she was on. I think she.
Yeah,
she probably was on there one time.
Yeah, she's on
I know
there.
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, but I was just like, I appreciate the beautiful natural women. Like, I don't think women understand that's what we like. Like,
but check this though. All that is that it's just like anything else, right? Like, say like with our podcast, right? Mm-hmm. Some people could, or I think this is people's tendency in general. Like, people tend to not focus on the good. They rather focus on the bad. So like, some people would rather focus on the people that aren't supporting them as opposed to focusing on the people that do support them. Mm-hmm. So I think it's the same thing with this whole conversation. It's like, instead of focusing on men who say they like the natural woman or the natural things, they rather focus on the men that are obsessed with social media and be in the club. Yeah. And they rather put all the emphasis on that. It's almost like I don't know if you saw what 50 Cent said the other day about black women.
Oh, the exotic?
Yeah, he said like, we like the exotics, something that looked like it just came off a boat. You don't see that in the neighborhood, right? And women were upset with him about that. But my thing on it is that, why are you looking to 50 Cent?
Exactly.
Who cares what 50 Cent thinks? Why not focus on the dude who isn't saying that?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's like, of course, like, this man got money, he got power, he got status. Yeah, he's gonna have his choice of who he wants to talk to.
And he don't care either. A lot of times, not in that situation, but I know a lot of times he's just trolling. Maybe not.
And at the end of the day, his girl is black.
Yeah.
Like, Cuban Link is, she might try to say she Cuban, or she might try to say she Native American. Bruh, you're still black, bro. Yeah. She's clearly a black girl. So it's not like, I think 50 used to talk to this Asian girl a few years ago. But yeah, it's like at the end of the day, he's still with a black girl. So whatever he's saying about exotic, like, yeah, his girlfriend might look exotic, but at the end of the day, she's still a black girl.
Still black.
You know what I mean?
But that's what they're getting on Lil Wayne about that when he had that song with Drake. Beautiful black bitch, but that bitch looked better if she was red or whatever she said. Whatever he said. Okay. Like, I was like, why are y'all listening to what Lil Wayne said?
Like, why? But that's a whole nother conversation about the importance that people put. I guess it's that idea of like idolizing something, idolatry. You know what I mean? Like, this idea that we put too much emphasis on our idols to say the right thing or say things that's going to appease us. It's almost like that thing where they say, like, you should never meet who you look up to, because most times you're going to be disappointed by what you get. And it's all that same thing. It's like, let's stop focusing on, we're looking to the wrong people to give us the right answer. You're like,
but it's just like for us, I always bring him up, and we always said, but like Moneybagg,
right?
Like, I tell people all the time, I listen to these folks' music. Like, I enjoy their music.
Right.
Do I know them as a person? No. Do I care what they think as a person? No. Like, people talking about Kanye West, and I'm like, bro, he might not like us at all. Who cares what he has to say? We don't know this man.
Right.
Like, just because someone's black don't mean they have the same perspective as us. Or,
Right.
grew up the same way. So a lot of people look up to them. They think we think the same. We have the same ideals. And I was like, it's not true. And that's another thing, going into that, how you feel about Kanye going for president?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I get it. You know what I mean? Kanye he wore his little red hat, his little red MAGA hat, and even though I think that people took a little bit of time to hear his complete thoughts on Trump, I think that they would have a better understanding of where he was going. So I'll say this before I get to that. Kanye had an interview with Charlamagne, the guy, right? And it was a pretty lengthy interview. It was like maybe an hour and a half or something. Maybe it was an hour, 2 hours maybe. I don't know. Somewhere between an hour and 2 hours. In that interview, they were able to articulate what that was. And I remember Kanye saying something like, he's like, I like the politics of Bernie, but I like the strategy of Trump. Right? And when he said that, it made perfect sense to me. I was like, oh, okay, I see what I see why he is on this Trump train to a degree. It's because that Kanye's the same person, the same brashness and just over the topness that Trump has. That's pretty much who Kanye has always been. Yeah. He's just the guy that, like Trump, people didn't believe Trump could be president. He became president.
Right.
People didn't believe Kanye was going to be a rapper. They thought he was a producer. They thought he was a little backpack schoolboy.
Yeah.
Became one of the biggest icons in the world. So I think, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
So I think that just in that, he was on the Trump bandwagon, not because of no politics, not because he really was like, Trump is the best leader and best person for the people. I just think that for who he was and his limited knowledge, he's been a person that says he doesn't read, but throughout the years, we've always known Kanye to be intelligent to some degree. Like through his music, we felt like he was a pretty intellectual person. You know what I mean? Whether he reads or not, it always came across like, oh, he knows what's going on. You know what I mean? He makes statements. Oh, George Bush hate black people. Makes songs about the crack era and the Reagan administration. Like, he's always had these ways about him that always rung to black people or just people in general that this guy is one of us. He understands what's going on. And then obviously he took a nosedive and people just stopped rocking with him because of the whole Trump thing and then feeling like he had lost his mind and all that, which I think is sad because I think that I'm gonna say this point and then I'll move back to your point real quick. As somebody that was a Kanye I'm still a Kanye fan. I'm not gonna cancel the man because I feel like Kanye did so much for people in our generation. People don't even realize how influential he was, like from college dropout to late registration and graduate. Like, this dude was he was our sound. He was the soundtrack to our lives, bro. Yeah. I mean, like, people cannot deny that. Like, this man was like, from song to song, it was like, yo, like, I feel him. You know what I mean? Like, he changed everything.
Made being cool, not,
he made
not
being yourself
rapper.
cool.
Yeah,
you know
exactly,
what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, y'all can say what y'all want about him. Don't play like Kanye didn't change your life.
Right.
Like, you can say that. So it's like, in that regard, I'll never cancel him because he's still that person. It's just that clearly when people get older and people, especially somebody with money and influence and, once you start being around different people, obviously your perspectives are going to change. And sometimes when you voice that, people are not going to, especially your original base that doesn't see what you're seeing. Because you got to realize, like, it's one thing to be somebody on the outside looking at a Trump and saying, okay, this dude, or just looking at politics in general, we're on the outside, we're looking at it like, that's wrong, like, this person ain't no good, but there are people that are in that are seeing it from that perspective. That's going to look totally different than what we looking at.
Yeah,
because you get to see what money plays are being made. Yeah. What political moves are being made. These might be your friends. These might be people you talk to on a daily basis. So you have the insider information, stuff that the average person doesn't see. So I don't think people take that into consideration when it comes down to people that have different views than them. They just automatically look at these celebrities and be like, oh, they on some coon shit. It's like, you don't know what this man done seen. You don't know. He could have knowledge of everybody getting played, and so he's gonna pick this side, but you don't know that. You just going off the surface of what you're seeing on TV.
But
you know what I mean?
But I was gonna also say, because first of all, they said that Kim Kardashian and her side said that Kanye is having another episode, bipolar episode. Okay. So all of this stuff going for president and stuff, she said.
But see, okay, go ahead, finish your point.
Okay, so the problem I have with it is that the same thing we had with Trump, from that perspective, is the same thing that's going on with Kanye this year. Mm-hmm. Well, I won't say this year, but these past month or whatever. Mm-hmm. So like Trump didn't have any political background. You know, right, Trump's a celebrity.
Exactly.
You know, Trump has all this money, things like that. So now Kanye's coming in here, and it's just like what black people said to the white people. You know, why do you want to vote for Trump? He doesn't have anything. That's what we're doing with Kanye. And I don't know Kanye's motives. I don't. But I don't know if he's even, what am I looking, mentally.
In his right mind.
Yeah, mentally stable to do any of that.
Right.
And a lot of people are like, oh, well, it's Kanye. Because just like you just said about the old Kanye, I don't know if he's still there. I don't know if he's there anymore. And I don't know if he's even not eligible, but if he's mentally liable to even run a country.
Right. Okay, so I never answered your question, right? So I kind of got off on a tangent. So back to your question about what do I think about Kanye running for president. So my thing is this. With the state of the world where it is right now, with us allowing us as a people, not saying me or you voted for Trump or any of that. What I'm saying is that as a collective, enough people voted for Trump for him to become president. Mm-hmm. So what that means is that we're in a certain time and just in human history where like things really ain't as they seem no more. You know what I mean? Like, and not to say that it wasn't certain, you know, characteristics of that throughout time, but what I'm saying is that nobody in a million years could have convinced anybody that Trump would have became the United States of America's president, the person that represents us globally. Like, nobody would have ever envisioned that. You know what I mean? So when it comes down to Kanye saying he'll run for president, I mean, look at the times we're in. And truth be told, between the candidates that are here now, Joe Biden and Trump, I think Kanye would do a better job.
But okay, but the thing is, what I'm saying is, well, he's not eligible for 6 or 7 states now. I think it's too late.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, so Kanye, I don't know his motives. Like, he's mentally not there anymore. I'm not saying overall. I'm
gonna get to that point too.
I'm saying he's bipolar, and I know plenty of bipolar people, and I know there's certain things that they shouldn't be doing. Okay. Like, they shouldn't be doing. But what I'm saying is, should we have it where, because we judged Trump on, hey, you know, y'all wilding with this, but we're doing the same thing as Kanye. But Kanye, I don't know. Like, I had an argument with somebody on Facebook about it. And they was like, Kanye is going to give us reparations. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. And I was like, well, you're kind of believing stuff that he's saying, but we don't know he's actually going to do it. Just like Trump was telling all the white people he was going to build a wall for them, you know, for Mexico and stuff. So I can't agree. I don't know what's real, what's not. I don't know any of that.
I mean, I put it like this, bro. I'm not even political anymore. Like, I really don't, like, I'm a Andrew Yang fan. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
I mean, you saying, what was that he used to say? He used to text me.
Yang gang.
Yeah. Yang gang.
Gang.
Yang gang.
It's only one gang. Like, come on. Like, what's up? Because to me, really quickly, like, Andrew Yang, smart individual, Ivy League schools, businessman, tech guy, relatively young, telling us some good policies that he wants to implement. It should really be a no-brainer.
Right.
When you're up against a Donald Trump, against a Joe Biden who...
But I always say America's stupid, though.
We are.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I am, but, you know.
No, I'm saying America as a whole is stupid.
Absolutely. And that's my point, is that going back to Kanye, it's like, with the state of America, like, what would be the difference if Kanye was the president? You got Trump as a president.
That's true.
It's just like, who cares? Like, it's just like, people to me, it'd be blowing my mind that people are still engaged with the foolishness. Like, it's just like, y'all can't be serious. Like, y'all are taking this political sphere seriously. Like, no, like, real talk, Paul, like, they be really trying people's intelligence. And people just be letting it go. Like, it's just like, you can't even try a person in person and try their intelligence without them getting offended, wanting to fight you, canceling you. But yet, when these politicians do it, we just still go out and say, "Oh, well, we gotta vote anyway. We gotta pick the lesser of two evils." Shut the fuck up. No, bro, real talk. Like, that shit really be blowing my mind, bro. Like, I'm like, I didn't study politics long enough. I didn't study world history long enough. I didn't study these people long enough to know that it's all a charade, guys.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying.
Surprise.
But that's what I was telling them. The only thing I said was, I don't want people to judge what they did with Trump and then turn around and do the same thing with Kanye. Because I personally, I like Bernie Sanders compared to Biden and Trump and all that.
Bernie's cool. I'm just not one to want somebody that old.
Oh, no.
You know
okay, I get that. Like I was like, that's what I said. He's old, but like I said, this man is still trying to do shit for us. Like, someone's like, you believe everything he said. I was like, I don't believe half the stuff these politicians are saying, because a lot of it's just BS.
Right.
But some of the stuff he talking about sound good to me. Like, he wants student loan forgiveness. Shit, take that away from me. I'm cool with that.
Right.
Trump don't care about that. Like, politicians don't care about that. And I was like, out of Joe Biden, Trump, like, of course I wanted Bernie Sanders. But I'm just talking about Kanye. People want him for the wrong reasons, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, people's like, oh, he was talking about, like, you was talking about College Dropout. Do you remember what he said in College Dropout? I was like, yeah, but he ain't doing that now, and we don't know why he wants to be president.
Right.
And Kim was like, well, that's because he's on an episode. He's not really running for president.
And I want to make a quick statement about that. Like, I kind of have an issue with us listening to Kim Kardashian about Kanye.
Everything.
Because
really.
the reason I'm saying that is because, don't get me wrong, I know Kim in the last few years she's been on her whole like Innocence Project thing where she wants to get inmates freed for wrongful convictions and all that. Like, I respect that, right? People can change and people can find purpose, and I'm with that. But at the same time, this is still Kim Kardashian, okay?
Yeah.
We know Kim Kardashian from a sex tape. We know Kim Kardashian from being just a social media socialite that really doesn't even have a job. Like, there's no job that she does. Like, it's just she's famous for being famous. Like, it's just like, how you famous for being famous? Like, there is no job, or famous for being rich. Like, that's not a job. You know what I mean? So Kanye, historically, we've known him to be pretty intelligent. He's always kind of been his own man, stood on his own square, had his own opinions. So I kind of have an issue of us, like, and I think that's I think that's Kanye's fault. I do hold Kanye accountable, because one thing I always felt was that for Kanye to be who he was, him getting with Kim Kardashian never made sense.
It completely went against everything.
Like, to me, I know, I'm sorry.
No, you good.
To me, that always looked like a guy like Kanye wasn't popular. So it's like, he didn't become popular until he got the money and the fame. So to me, that was just a move of show and power. Like, oh, I got this money now. I'm going to get the girl that I couldn't get back in the day.
Right.
So I'm going to be with Kim Kardashian. You know what I mean? So outside of that, to me, they weren't a fit personality-wise. Like, to me, Kanye would be more apt to talk to a girl who was really on her, fight the power, intelligent, political, like that type of sphere of person, you know what I mean? And Kim just didn't, at the time, seem like she was that type. So, like, when people say, oh, well, Kim say that, Kanye's losing his mind, it's just like, who is Kim to say anything about
that's true.
a person like Kanye? Like, Kim probably don't even understand half the shit Kanye be talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think most people don't be, like, and that was one of the things real quick that I felt like was very unfortunate, was that a lot of the things that Kanye said throughout the years, most of the time it went over people's heads. It wasn't that the man was crazy. The shit just went over your head.
Yeah.
You don't have a frame of reference for what he's talking about. You know what I mean? Like, even when he was on Sway, and that was the whole famous thing, like, how Sway?
You don't
how
have
Sway?
Yeah.
You ain't got the answer, Sway. Like, Sway, even though Sway is somewhat of a celebrity and has some sort of wealth, like, Sway ain't on Kanye level. Like,
right.
Sway is not in the same rooms as Kanye West. Like, this icon, like, making albums with Jay-Z and Beyonce and, you know what I mean, friends with Elon Musk, and, this your homeboy you pulling up at his crib. Like, Sway ain't doing none of that. Sway is a regular person compared to Kanye. So when you have a guy like that, having these positions about wanting to be in the fashion industry and wanting, ownership to be a big thing and want, talking about all these different principles. I just think that just like Sway said, Kanye, why don't you just, make your own clothes and da 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 da? And Kanye's trying to tell him like, bruh, it don't work like that. Like there's a particular type of way. Like there are gatekeepers. Like there are people that even if you get through the door, you have to be able to turn around and change the infrastructure for it to really operate in your favor. And I think that's pretty much the gist of what he was trying to say in that particular thing. But my point to that is that I think that a lot of people have gotten lost in just frame of reference and not being able to understand where Kanye is coming from. And I honestly think that is what drove him, if he's bipolar, to be bipolar. I think it was just like him thinking like, am I crazy for real? Like, it's almost one of the things where you like, people tell you crazy for so long that you actually become crazy. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Because I really don't think that Kanye naturally just became crazy. I think, his mother's death had something to do with it. And then I think people calling him crazy actually led him to feeling like he was crazy, which leads to Kim being able to say, oh yeah, he's not really trying to run for president. He's having a manic episode. It's just like, Kim, like, bro, your whole life is a manic episode. Literally, no pun intended, like an episode of Keeping Up with the Car. Like, come on, like it's just certain things I can't take serious.
But the thing I asked you about, like, did you see the quote Kanye gave us about the coronavirus test and stuff?
No, what did he say?
I'm about to pull it up. Hold up, man. This is what I'm talking about. I was like, hey, I don't know if he'll be. I mean, some stuff I know he's trolling, but some stuff he's dead ass serious. So he said the coronavirus is the mark of the beast. They want to put chips inside of us. They want to do all kinds of things to make it where we can't cross the gates of heaven. So you telling me if you put a chip on, you can't get into heaven?
I mean, look, bro, like, I'm not even a religious person, but like, so I can't really speak to the religious side of that. Like, all I'm saying is that to me, that statement wasn't that wild. Like, it really wasn't, because it's like, once again, if Kanye is friends with Elon Musk, if Kanye knows people like Bill Gates, if Kanye knows these types of individuals that have information that we don't have, right? Mm-hmm. Who's to say that he's wrong? We might just not have the info. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying he's right. What I'm saying is that
I get what you're saying.
He's gonna have more info than me.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying? Like it's almost like insider trading, right? Who is more prone to have insider trading? Somebody like a politician or you?
Yeah, politician. Yeah.
Somebody on Wall Street or you?
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
So if somebody on Wall Street says, "Oh, Elon Musk is trying to wreck the economy through, people buying the shares of his company," whoop-de-whoop, somebody might say, "Man, look what this person's saying. Man, they crazy, man."
Yeah, but what
might know, like, might be true.
But what I'm saying is, so I see it from your side. Mm-hmm. But what if Kanye is actually bipolar, which I think he is? Okay. And he's up in the White House. He has a full-on episode. Like, do you know anybody with bipolar? Who's bipolar?
I'm saying Trump could be bipolar.
No. Trump's just an idiot. I think he's just an idiot.
Okay, idiot versus a bipolar.
Okay,
guy.
but what I'm saying is, do you know anybody bipolar? Like, do you know anyone bipolar?
Not necessarily. Not that I can think.
It's on a whole nother level. Trust me. It's on it's stuff you wouldn't even think of. Where they have an episode, it's like shit's just happening. You be like, what is going on? Why is this happening? Right. Now imagine if imagine if Kanye's in the White House and he has an episode and he's just like, fuck this shit. Bomb Florida right now. Bomb Florida. I said bomb Florida now. Like, what if he just go ahead and say that? Like, just think about what if he says, what state has majority white people? Bomb that state right now. Nuke them. What if he says that? Or just anything.
Bruh, look. All I'm saying is this. I feel exactly what you're saying. All I'm saying is this. Based in what we've seen from presidents already, they do the same shit.
Well, Trump, first of all, Trump's trolling. He's racist and he hates everybody, really. But
And he's our leader.
But
That's what I'm saying.
He's not my leader. He's not my leader.
No, he's your leader. Whether you agree, whether you
I got you.
Want to agree with it or not, he's your leader for the time being.
But what I'm saying is, you have to see it from how did he get elected? He got elected because people was like, "Oh, he's a great businessman," which he's not.
Right? It's coming off the backs of a black president, a white American. About that. Yeah.
So, but what I'm saying is just like, I don't know. It's all bad candidates, of course.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not making a case for Kanye to truly be the president. All I'm saying is that with the chaos that's already in the world,
I got you.
You know, it's just like I can't take anything serious. Like
right.
I wouldn't care if Charlamagne the God was a president. Like I really just at this point, I look at politics like it's a sham. You know what I mean? Like it's like Jeffrey Epstein. That which. If you're okay with it, I just want to get into that a little bit just because it just popped in my mind as it relates to politics. Like, you have a guy, right, that has his own island that is rumored to be a part of one of the biggest, pedophilia, children's sex rings in the world that implicates Bill Clinton, Prince, and what's his name?
Is it Prince Andrew?
Prince Andrew?
I don't know his name. I know
either way, from the royal guy from the royal family.
To America.
Right, the guy from the royal family implicates all these billionaires, all these hedge fund people, all these CEOs, and all this. Right? He gets into custody in one of the most secured facilities,
and they say it commits
in the
suicide.
States. Oh, the cameras just don't work.
The security guards.
Oh. Security guards are asleep.
Both of them.
They've been reprimanded. He killed himself. Autopsy claims he didn't kill himself. Nothing happens. Right? Mm-hmm. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is like where we're at right now in history, anything goes. Clearly.
2020's been wild.
Everything goes. Oh, they arrest Ghislaine Maxwell, his madam, the lady that was implicated with him in the whole deal. Oh, reports coming out. She's on suicide watch. Like, clearly, this is the time of anything goes.
Anything can happen.
We can do anything we want. I mean, just the powers to be. We can do anything we want without consequence. Mm-hmm. The people are not going to do shit about it. We're going to let Donald Trump in the White House. The dude that's going to implicate all these politicians to show people that the system has to be torn down and rebuilt back up. Because trust and believe, Paul, this is just real talks, bro. I know this for a fact. If it comes out, all the people that are implicated with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and this whole ring, trust and believe it's going to be most of the people that are in power.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about like people that you like. People. Oh, Bill Clinton is the closest black president we didn't have, the closest to a black president we didn't have before Barack Obama. Okay. Guess what? He rode on Jeffrey Epstein's plane like 26 times. Yeah. You still like him? Do you still think he's a cool guy? You still think he's a black guy? Like guys, these people ain't who you think they are. This whole world is not what you think it is.
Well, that's why I say I don't look up to anybody. Like, if I don't know you, I don't know what you do after hours.
Right. And to me, that's what makes politics so crazy is because we really feel like we can really make an adult decision about people we don't know. Mm-hmm.